frame.
Did you get emotional? Did you shed tears in your cell?
I'm an emotional man. I think men are hyper emotional. We just have to control it.
Bro, answer the question. Did you cry, bro? Like, answer the question. Why does Andrew Tate always try to overcalculate every question? Like, sometimes it's just a yes or no. Yeah, I cried, nigga. I cried. Like, I cried tears. Like, I even like made a sound when I cried. Like,
It's difficult for me to answer the question because it was a interesting frame of mind.
it's difficult for you to answer whether you cried or not. Broski, you either cried or you didn't cry. What's so difficult about that?
I knew that God was watching and I had to perform.
Mashallah.
It's very difficult for me to go through life saying I'm the top G, I'm this, I'm that, and speak about mental resilience and mental toughness, and then the second I'm thrown inside of a solitary confinement cell, cower out. I'm not that person. There's some other people who talk about mental toughness and want to give advice, and when bad things happen to them, they end up addicted to prescription drugs. I'm not a coward and I'm not a liar.
No, but it would be perfectly natural to be emotional in that
Facts.
scenario, and there's no shame in admitting that.
I was emotional. I missed people. I missed them, and I knew they missed me. So I felt a strong sense of missing.
But you cried.
There were tears that ran down my face.
Broski, you cried, bro. It's okay to admit you cried. What's wrong with it? Who does bro think he is? Does bro actually think he's Thanos, chat? Who does he think he is, chat?
I missed them, and I knew they missed me. So I felt a strong sense of missing.
But you cried.
There were tears that ran down my face.
A man said there was tears that ran down my face. So what does that mean, chat? Did you cry or did you not cry? Yeah?
But I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
I would disagree.
Because you're worried about admitting that. You think it sounds
Absolutely
weak.
not. That's a perfectly fine scenario to cry in, but I think the act of crying is an act of desperation to sit and...
Shut the fuck up, bro. This guy, bro, I can't lie, he's over weeping. You see one thing about Andrew Tate, he does too much. He does way too much, I can't lie. Like, I've come to actually rate him. I never wanted to admit it, but I actually do rate him. But he does too much sometimes. Like, thing time like this, bro, see, like, it takes a real man to admit you cried, bro. Like, a man's trying so hard to be a real man, don't admit you cried. Like, bro, a real niggas can admit yeah, I cried. Yeah, I cried, bro. Like, you can't, how you a real man if you can't just come on TV and admit, yeah, I cried. Like, get me.
To cry is an act in and of itself. To do push-ups, thinking of your children with tears running down your face, but you're concerned with finishing as many push-ups as possible within that day, I do not consider that crying. I consider that tears running down my face.
So he's got kids since when? And I can't like, I don't believe, yeah. Cause bro don't even look that bolo. He don't look that bolo compared to when he went in.
Finishing as many push-ups as possible with...
If he was doing as many push-ups that he's saying he's doing, chat, he would have come out looking like Arms Corleone. Man. He's over whooping.
Name a full-grown man who's 36 or 37 years old who's not had sexual relations with a woman at some point in the past. And the way the Matrix works is they lie by omission, right? They just hit Russell Brand with it. I think they hit P. Diddy with it this morning. Julian Assange just got...
No, but that's where it hit different. How are you using P. Diddy as your counterpart, broski? If you're claiming to be on the same team with P. Diddy, then that's a losing battle, broski. Because P. Diddy is actually guilty.
Right?
So he's basically saying that any famous person that gets accused of sexual assault is a false allegation. That's a dangerous narrative to push out there, bro. Because there's bare man that actually creeps, bro. There's bare people that are famous, but they're still creeps. So you can't be pushing out those whoops like that, bro. Do I think he's guilty? That's a great question. Fozan, do I think he's guilty? What I think here is when I first saw Andrew Tate in jail for human trafficking, straight away I thought he was guilty. Why do you think he was guilty, Billy? That's a great question, broski. Because listen, let me break it down to you like this, yeah. There's certain crimes, yeah. There's just certain crimes. Obviously, most crimes, yeah, you can get falsely accused of any crime, you listen. You get falsely accused of murder. Like, there's people in jail for murder they never done. Even, like, rape, I shouldn't even say that word on Twitch, innit? Even that, you can get falsely accused of it. You can get falsely accused of bare crime. But there's certain crimes, yeah, that if you get accused of it, you probably did it. I don't understand how you can get falsely accused of human trafficking. Like, the scale of that crime is too big that how can you get that wrong? Do you not get what I'm trying to say? Like, human trafficking is literally the act of buying and selling human beings and using them for malicious acts. How can you get falsely accused of it? Like, obviously someone can lie on your name and that, but it's like, they wouldn't arrest him unless there was evidence that suggested he was doing that. if there's evidence you're suggesting you're doing it, then you probably are in it. That was my initial reaction in it. And obviously, I don't really let this whole Matrix talk like blur my judgment. But at the same time, though, I don't know, the fact that it's been this long and there hasn't been that much development on the case in terms of like other things that have come out, it makes me kind of think that, right, maybe they're trying to overwhoop him. Maybe they're trying to overwhoop Andrew Tate, hit different, but I don't know. Like, do I think he's guilty? Initially, I did, but now I'm kind of, I'm not too sold, I'll be honest. I'm not fully sold, I'll be so real with you.
Going back to jail, how treated by other people?
Everybody in jail was extremely apologetic to me. All of the staff, the police officers, everyone who worked in the jail, the person who served me my meal, everybody was very sorry for what happened to me. They made it very clear they knew it was garbage, and they were apologetic. That was the only vibe I could give you. They were kind of like, listen, you got too big, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I believe that, I don't know if I believe that.
Nobody had any real problem with me. None of the prisoners.
Why? How would they know? How do people in the jail know that it's not true? Like, I don't believe that.
Did you get into any fights?
There was a couple scenarios where violence could have occurred, but I think once people realize that violence is a certainty and that you do not operate under a fearful realm, they often aren't so interested.
So people threaten.
What the fuck does that even mean? To answer the flipping question, bro. What's wrong with his bread? Why does he always do that? Like, bro, like, is it? He's usually trying to impress, bro. Just answer the question,
A couple scenarios. Prisoners had a problem with me.
Was there any facts? Yes, there was. No, there wasn't. Simple. What's wrong with his bread, bro?
Did you get into any fights?
There was a couple scenarios where violence could have occurred, but I think once people realize that violence is a certainty and that you do not operate under a fearful realm, they often aren't so interested.
So people threaten.
Nah, broski. This guy does too much. I can't. He does way too much. I can't. Like, actually pissing me off.
I wouldn't say they threatened me, but they would have liked to have got the opportunity to threaten me.
And what happened?
And they realized that would have been a bad decision. And all in all...
Well, what did you say to them? Because you don't speak Romanian, so...
I didn't, you're right. I actually used a quote from Street Fighter. I said, I quoted Dowson, and I said, they do not understand the secrets of yoga fire, because I knew they had no idea what I was talking about. It was near the washing machines, and they looked at me like I was completely crazy, and they walked away.
There's more than one person.
Correct.
And they made it clear what? That they wanted to...
I have to be careful what I say, because I'm still beholden to the Romanian judicial system.
Yeah, but that's just an incident in jail. That's
Correct.
nothing to do with the system.
An incident report was written, and it's better I don't mention it.
But there was a direct threat to you.
I've had threats, yeah, and I have threats every single day of my life, and I think jail is a hyper-pressure...
Like, what Hunter man said in the chat is facts. People that move like this cap a lot. The people that try to oversmart and outsmart everyone, yeah, they usually cap it. I can't lie.
...prized version of reality, and you need to have an extremely strong mind so you don't attack yourself, and an extremely strong body so others don't attack you. And I understood that there was a threat of violence at all times, and I just decided to go through life extremely respectfully, but make it clear if that's a decision somebody else wants to make, that I'm prepared to partake. Please understand, the day I was arrested, which is a year ago, every single bank account I have was frozen. All of my assets.
That's a lot of money.
And they took all of it, and I still don't have access to any of these things.
I mean, as we're doing this interview, you're expecting to hear sometime today as to whether you may get those possessions back. Is it all or nothing? Do you get it all?
That's not fair. How can I'm never sticking up for him, but how can I just take that shit off him? It's his stuff. Like, they can't just take it. Even if he gets found guilty, it's still his. The fuck? You can't take that shit off him, bro. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's actually not fair, I'll be honest. That's not fair. That's bullshit.
And,
you know what kills about Andrew Tate? You see, whenever I watch him, he looks like he's trying to hold in a laugh all the time. That's why I feel like his whole thing is a character. I can't lie.
Spectrum.
It's getting boring. Let's wrap to something else now. That's a good watch though. I'm gonna watch that in full later, but I'm not on stream though.